So look, they say what goes up must come down. Well, no one knows that more than Elon Musk, especially over the past week. The business magnate has been forced by San Francisco authorities to take down his giant glowing X sign after local residents complained it was interrupting their sleep. And it's just the latest setback for Musk's attempts to rebrand Twitter and that iconic blue bird symbol. The platform, which saw Ye West's account reinstated at the weekend following an almost 8-month ban for anti-Semitism, also faces accusations of allowing hate speech to go unchecked. So does Elon Musk know what he's doing, or does X mark the rot for this social media platform? I'm joined in the studio by talkTV contributor Paula Roan-Adrian, and down the line from the author and former Levi brand president Jennifer Say, and the chief strategy officer, at Raux, and PR guru Ian Bear. Thank you all so much. Look, Jennifer, I'll come to you first because you have headed up a much beloved brand. When you saw this rebrand from Twitter to X, and it's still very much in process and it's in a very bumpy rebrand, what have you made of it all?
Well, I'm of the sort of school of thought from a branding standpoint, but that a brand is what you make of it, and brand logos, brand meanings, they're expansive. And so, I think what he's trying to signal is that X is going to be a super app, like China's WeChat. We don't have anything like that here in America, for instance. And, X is sort of meant to kind of be broad and expansive. But I think when you have a brand and a logo and a mark like Twitter, which has to have 90% awareness at least, I feel like the smarter route, and I'm an avid Twitter user, but I feel like the smarter route would have been to keep the existing name and logo and to expand the meaning with enhanced product services. This feels like a distraction to me.
Look, sold. If I was Musk, I would have hired you to give that advice because I am a
no one hires me.
I am a real Twitter. Nice comeback. I am a real Twitter user, or now an X user. Hate the rebrand, if I'm being quite honest. I do think Musk has slightly lost his way, but I kind of have to hold my sort of breath here because he is a sort of twisted genius. So you've got to give him time with these things, with Tesla, with everything else. He's proved time and again that he can just make it work. But look, let's be honest, Ian, advertising revenues down extraordinarily. He's got this huge debt load in the company as well. I don't want to get too much in the business weeds because it's just what I like to do. But also just an X, the letter X, for some reason to me it's a sort of totem of his fragile masculinity. Am I going too far?
Well, look, X is Elon Musk's personal brand. I mean, before he was the monolithic billionaire force of nature that he is, he had this thing called X.com that he sold to PayPal. And that really led to so much of what would follow from Musk. So this is just him putting his own personal brand on it. And yeah, we could talk about the relative brand awareness of the Twitter name versus X, but the biggest brand of all here is Elon Musk. And what he decided to do 10 days ago is really the end of what's been going on for a year. You spoke to the declining ad revenues. There's been a huge turnover and shift in the base. The base has become a little more politically skewed, actually a lot more politically skewed than it formerly was. So this is just the conclusion of a process, and I completely agree. I mean, now what we're going to see, here's the next act, right? There's a new CEO, Linda Yaccarino, who, if nothing else, is doing a really good job of mouthpiecing Musk's vision as something that she buys into. And now we have to see what X becomes. But Elon Musk is the biggest brand we're talking about here, not Twitter.
Yeah, and the question is, Jen, I suppose, is can people back the brand Musk? Because, yes, he is a business genius and he's done a lot, but he's not that popular. He's very controversial. Famously, he's got sort of 10 children by many different women, which doesn't really get a lot of women on side. Also, he's not really got San Francisco on side at the moment, which, of course, is the corporate headquarters for that company. He's having this battle about this giant X logo, but it's sort of all a bit Gotham City-esque, isn't it? It's sort of like he's this megalomaniac genius falling out with the authorities there. What do you make of it? Or do you think people will gather behind Musk like Ian's suggesting?
At the end of the day, they're using Twitter. And so they have to like that product and feel like it adds value to their lives. They're not going to use it I think they're not going to use it because of him. I do think his form of provocation used to make him very popular, and now he's fallen out of favor and certainly has a media kind of coming at him aggressively. What I find ironic, and I'm a former San Franciscan, I lived there for over 30 years, very near the Twitter headquarters. I find it, look, he should have gotten the right permits, but again, that's his kind of bad boy persona. He does what he wants. He didn't get the right permits. He's got to take the sign down. People complained. I find it sort of unbelievable that the people had the energy and gumption to complain about a lighted sign, but not the hundreds, if not thousands of people that are dying on the streets of San Francisco, who are homeless, mentally ill, and drug addicted right in front of Twitter. That is where they sort of congregate. Some of the largest encampments are right there. They can't get the energy to push back and try to help those people, but they sure did find a lot of energy to get that sign taken down. It says a lot.
Really interesting context from a former resident and a native as well, that you can tell us that, because in the UK especially we might not get the full picture of it, and it is bleak when you put it like that. And that he is trying to develop what we're going to call a Chinese super app, an app called WeChat in China, where they integrate payment systems and business items within the sort of social networking and the media as well. Look, Ian, quickly before I get to Paula in the studio, do you think a super app is something that the world is going to embrace?
Well, certain parts of the world already have. And I don't think that his vision for a super app is that divergent from necessarily what Jeff Bezos is building with his many Amazon holdings. And if Apple makes a bold move in the future for a content acquisition, let's say a Netflix is in play or a Disney is in play, you can see others marching down that path. This has been his stated vision from day one. The question more is what he's going to do with it. He's great at setting vision. His history speaks to his ability to marry that vision to creation of enormous wealth and capital. His brand has lost some luster. He's lost some credibility. A number of his stock prices have gotten crushed with questions about his ability to lead. Here's his chance to see through perhaps his biggest vision. I mean, we tolerated Facebook renaming themselves Meta to support a bigger vision. Before that, Google became Alphabet to support a bigger vision.
It can work. It can work. There is precedent for it. Look, I want to come to Paula in the studio now and talk a little bit about hate speech, because that is where some of the brand luster has been lost, as Ian just put it. Especially for me, when I'm using the app, you can just feel and you can see that there is more. And there's an organisation called the Centre for Countering Digital Hate. They've run a number of reports to find out how much hate is on the platform, and they've come out and said extraordinary amounts. And Twitter is failing, or X is failing, to take action against 99 out of 100 Twitter Blue accounts that have been reported for hate speech violations. Musk is going to countersue because he says your methodology was wrong. When you think about this from a legal perspective, because you are a legal mind, these platforms for years have said we're not publishers, but it seems Musk is heading towards the publishing route.
I think he's heading towards a very dangerous area, actually, where he's going to consistently encounter the law and consistently encounter clients. We can't call them tweets anymore, users, social media users, who are going to be upset with what he is essentially promoting, because he is providing this platform that will allow for hate speech. Now, interestingly, as I understand it, the lawsuit has been lodged. It was lodged on Monday in the Californian court, and where that's going to take us, I don't know. But we have to remember, don't we, that it's okay to criticise a company. It's okay to criticise someone if they are not acting in a way that we think is appropriate or responsible. And when we talk about freedom of speech, we're not talking about the right to have your say. We're talking about the right not to hate. We're talking about the right not to publish that hate. And I do worry for Elon that he's going down that dangerous road. Now, to be fair to him, we had Yi, who had been banned from the platform twice. to be fair, and he's only just come back on in the last 8 months. So let's see what happens with that. Trump was also banned, and although he was offered an opportunity to come back, he said no thank you.
He's got his own now.
He's got his own now.
Social.
He's doing his own thing. But I do worry that Elon Musk thinks that offering somebody a platform from freedom of speech is suddenly going to mean that he is going to be overrun with lots of new members. I don't think that's going to work.
Do you think he underestimated the challenge of free speech?
Completely.
Yeah, I do
completely.
Too. Look,
and he's going to pay for that.
He will, and he is, well, literally paying for it, it seems, at the moment. We'll see how this latest lawsuit goes. Look, Ian and Jennifer, thank you very much.